Hey everyone, Joe here from ActionX. Welcome to What's on the Tube. I would say welcome back, but I realize we're starting a new show. It's been a while since I introed a new show. I don't know how I usually do this, but anyway, I'm wearing a cowboy hat to represent the Texas Rangers as we're about to begin our Walker episode reviews here on ActionX. I am very excited because I have been a big fan of Jared Padalecki since I started binge watching Supernatural back in 2016, I want to say. I think it was 2016. So I wasn't an OG fan like from 2005. I was like 8 years old when that show started airing. But I had grown to appreciate the show as I was binging it and then watching it live the past few years. And now that ended back in fall, it was very touching to see that journey come to a close. And I was not expecting Jared Padalecki, the actor, to immediately jumping into another show. Which, if it lasts 15 more years, the man has some sort of endurance level that I probably will never handle. So here we are, new journey, new show. It's a new beginning for everyone. It's a new beginning for the actor Jared Padalecki. It's a new beginning for a lot of the actors coming on board the show. And it's a new beginning in terms of the... Oh yeah, I forgot. Me, of course. I forgot about me. Yeah, it's a new beginning because I haven't reviewed a new show since Perry Mason, I want to say, and it's been a while. It's been a stretch since I reviewed stuff that's like fresh and new. Even though, yeah, Walker is technically a reboot of Walker, Texas Ranger, back from I want to say 70s or 80s. It's freaking old. I know that. It was like something my dad would used to watch back in the day, but nothing anything I would watch now. But if it wasn't for Jared Padalecki, I literally would not even be interested in the show. And then I was looking at the cast list. It's such a solid cast list, and yeah, let's just get to my initial thoughts. I really enjoyed it. I think there's a couple cliches in there. I think some things are just not very well explained. Look, while I enjoyed it. If you're unaware here, once in a tuber, you're not aware of me. The thing that I usually quite attach to myself on most of these shows that I either review or just watch in general is the characters and whether or not they have potential. And for me personally, majority of these characters have potential. I'm interested in their stories. I'm interested in their backstory. I'm interested in their dynamics with everyone else. And that was kind of like the standing ovation I'll give this show. Where even though a lot of these relationships are mostly hearsay, like we should know these relationships, but then with circumstances given in the beginning moments, it's understandable why everything's kind of like started over for us as viewers. Which hopefully down the line, as we continue this, hopefully this first season of many seasons to come, we will hopefully see more of that pre-life before the catalyst of the show occurs. But we'll see what happens. But overall, while some of the story elements is not entirely set in stone just quite yet for me, I am very much of a fan of the characters, and I cannot wait to see where they go forward with this. But enough about talking about the preliminary. Let's get to the spoilers. Let's get them through. If you're unaware, this is the butchered recap where I will probably butcher the episode, so please go see Walker episode 1 before, and then of course in any subsequent show episode reviews you can just go watch the episode first, and then you'll have a better comprehension of what's going on, because I will not be perfect. Also, yes, I will be wearing this cowboy hat throughout the entire run of reviews, so don't worry, I'm going to be fly as always, and I'm ironically going to Texas soon, so will I see the cast? Probably not. They'll probably kick me out by the time I get there. Anyway, let's get through the butchered recap while I drink a piping hot cup of tea. Alright, let's do this. So, what's kind of weird is that, again, with this being a new show I think this is the first time I'm talking about a show that's completely brand new to me, because every other show I've either started or I've started a new season of or reviewed in the past 4 or 5 months, I usually have had some understanding of the world, or usually had some understanding of what's going on. This is something I'm just going into brand new. This is episode 1 for everyone. So we begin with Jared Padalecki as Cordell Walker. He's heading home. Well, he's heading to his parents' home, where he meets with his wife, played by Jared Padalecki's real life wife, Genevieve Padalecki. So smart. And I can also tell between their kisses, like, this is real love right here. This is true love right here. They could have easily cast any other actress, but the emotion and the passion that you get to see in this scene definitely showcases, like, yeah, these two are like they're really in love. She's heading off to her character, Emily, I believe that's her name. I think it's Emily. I might be wrong, but because the thing, yeah, it's Emily. It's Emily. So she has to go off, meet with someone else. I think Gigi. Again, if you're unaware, I am a very horrible person when it comes to remembering names. So I will improve as the reviews go on. But I'm hold your bearings here in this first episode because I'm going to butcher so many people's names. I will do my best to try to at least give you some sort of idea who I'm talking about, so I apologize there. She's heading up to meet Gigi to get some supplies. Cordell's kind of a bit worried because she's usually... This is kind of one of those dynamics where the wife is better suited for certain social situations than the father or the husband. So, but she says she'll be back fairly quickly. All he has to do is just play a couple games with his kids and his parents. They should be fine. So she goes off, they have another kiss, and he heads up back to the house. I don't know what game they're playing. It looked like Monopoly, but I'm like, this is not Monopoly. This is just some complicated board game that I probably skipped at during my generation. And it seemed like everyone's having fun. His kids, August, and... Stella. Yeah, Stella. They're having fun. His parents, played by, ironically, what's ironic about Cordell's dad, Walker's dad, as he likes to call himself in this show. He is a Supernatural veteran. He was in season 6 or 7 of Supernatural. I forgot which one. He played the grandpa to Sam and Dean. So that's ironic. Now he's the dad for Sam. Oh, no, not for Sam. For Walker. Jared Padalecki's new character. It's ironic, and also probably they couldn't get Jeffrey Dean Morgan back. So whatever. So they're having a fun family board game now, but it seems like Walker's not really tuned into things. It seems like he's just waiting for his wife to come back to kind of help ease the situation further. And then he gets a phone call from her, so he goes to take it privately in the other room because she sends a text before that saying SOS, please answer. So kind of simulate this is kind of a serious situation. So he answers the phone, and we cut over to some wooded-like area where she's running away from something. She's out of breath, and I'm assuming that she's saying some stuff, and then I don't know if it's either a connection issue because of the area they're in or that she's in, or if it's just like us as the viewers are not ready to hear that information yet. I'm not really sure how they're playing that. Could just be the former option, not the latter. And then the only thing that Cordell hears is gunshots behind her and the phone being hung up. And weirdly enough, Walker, instead of flipping out and overreacting like any concerned husband would be, he returns back to the living room with his kids and his parents, and instead of telling them what's going on, he just tells them, I have a work-related matter, I will be back. And he goes off to outside where, presumably, I was assuming, being a frantic husband, he's going to try and find, try to go to her, maybe try to find her location, but then as he was calling her again, it doesn't pick up. But on the other side of things, we just see her, Emily, lying on the ground, dead, or at least she's bleeding out. To who killed her, we don't know. And Walker just collapses on the ground, starts to cry, knowing what happened. And although I feel for this scene, this is where kind of like my little bit of nitpicking with the story is that Cordell doesn't exactly know she's dead. It could just be she's injured and they took their phone. So instead of wasting time to cry, he should just go and find her, or at least try to attempt to find her. I know they eventually would find their body, but considering the fact what we're going to get in a little bit later on, but it seems kind of weird to me that, he doesn't at least try. And again, it could just be the matter of they were trying to focus the story down where I honestly could have believed they could have at least stretched maybe another 10 minutes of this, maybe of Walker actually finding the body. I think that would have been a much better, poignant moment. In my opinion, I know this is a new world for me, so I am not understanding what they want to do or if this is even going to affect the mystery itself. But, not being said, no matter what happened, Walker presumes that Emily's dead. He collapses on the ground, and then we just get a hard cut to 11 months later, where we're back in the family house. We see the kids on the porch step. We see his brother, Liam. The only reason I remember that because Chris is Hemsworth's brother's name, Liam Hemsworth. That's literally the only reason I remember his name. And Toby Bell who I seen before on another show, The Gifted, for 2 seasons. I thought his character was okay in that, and now he's playing another character in this. I forgot his name. But he just got promoted to captain. So I'm just going to call him the captain for now because I literally cannot remember his name. Also, that is a very wink and a nod to How I Met Your Mother, because there's a character called the captain there. Will this one be as memorable as the other captain? Probably not. But they're all presumably waiting for Walker's return. He's coming home from a undercover mission or an undercover operation. Someone else shows up instead, and the kids just assume that everyone just assumes that, yeah, he's not going to show up. So they start sending out a patrol car for him, and then we cut to, before we get to the cut, Liam says, where would Walker go? And his first option would be he's probably at their place, Walker and Emily's place, their special spot. And conveniently enough, he's there drinking his ass off in his truck, which I will appreciate. It's a red truck, so I will give him some credit. Of course, he's drinking his life away. Well, he's drinking the night away. He's not happy at all to be back in town, and he just has a vision or a mirage of his deceased wife, which is gonna probably be a running trope throughout the season, which is understandable considering the fact he hasn't moved on yet from her, or at least considering the fact that he's loved her so much he's not ready to not see her anymore. I understand that. It's kind of weird the way it would make more sense for me if it was actually a flashback to an earlier time of their life. But in reality, it's just Emily just doing some walk, turns around at Walker, looks at him beautifully, and then Walker just has an emotion that's literally from the only 2 we've seen in this episode. That's all we get, and I really hope that's not the case. I would really love it if they build their relationship in terms of flashbacks, at least maybe their first date or something along that line to at least help solidify the fact these 2 were really in love. Sure, the first scene for me solely because I knew these 2 were a real life couple. But for people who don't know, they don't know the dynamic. I'm sure you assume that, yeah, it's a husband and wife, but I'm a soft for a good romance story. So hopefully they'll maybe insert that. Hopefully, will that be the case? I don't know. We'll see what happens. And then a patrol officer comes by. She immediately IDs him to be drunk, offers him a lift, and thankfully Cordell knows what to do and accepts the ride. That he heads back to his house, not the family house, because apparently the family house that his dad and mother owns is not his house. He lives in another house in town. And where do we go through? Yeah, so while in the car, he has a conversation with her. He basically gives her the whole here's my entire biography in a few sentences. I am Cordell Walker, Texas Ranger. I just came home from an underground mission, and I haven't even seen my family yet. So that's kind of how the show would have been pitched if we had the old style, the CW intros. Where was I? Okay. She gives her name briefly, that she's just got a promotion as well. That the reason why she was giving him a ride back home is because this is her last name. As a patrol officer, she's getting promoted, unawareing that what's about to come the next day. They both give each other a kind of congratulations, you're back in town and I got promoted. That's nice. Hopefully we'll never see each other again. Cordell heads back home, but it's the house is empty. He just collapses on his couch. Next morning, he starts jogging back to his truck, grabbing his hat, and it's oh my god, that's such a cool hat. I mean, I love my hat. This hat's pretty cool as well, but Cordell's is way better than mine's. And I believe, so he drives back down to the family farm where he meets his father, and his father's kind of just stern, and it's kind of weird the way everyone's, at least, I mean, again, it's an old-fashioned father, so I'm pretty sure oh hey, you're back, that's cool, you survived, good to see you. Obviously he's scolding him a little bit for missing out on the homecoming last night, as well as coming to him first, you should just go to see your mom first, so that you can tell she could think she was the first one that he came to visit. They try to make a little chit chat, but it's kind of seeming no, they're not gonna have this. So he heads back up the house. It's a majority of a family reunion. His mom, his brother, his son. They're all seem to be happy that he's back, but things are just about to revert back as there's a new dynamic now because Cordell's been away for 10 months, so a lot of things can happen in 10 months, and August supposedly grew, which I do not see, but then again, the only scene we've seen of August before this was him literally sitting down, so he could be right. Liam is the DA for the town, and his mom's still the mom. So that's basically it. August, scrap. What's his name? Damn, I had the name of my. You see, this is exactly what I talk about. Like I forget names. Cordell's daughter. I forgot her name. Sydney. No, it's not Sydney. I forgot. It was something I remember. I remember. It'll come back to me. But she's not there. She already went to school early. But then Cordell heads off to go back to work. So he's suited up in his Texas Ranger gear. He briefly sees the crime scene, which is another officer covered in dust. Kind of being quiet and iffy, wanting to speak to a union representative instead of the cops or the officers or the Rangers. Cordell briefly reunites with the captain, who actually turns out to be his former partner before he left. Apparently, he just got the promotion to become the captain, and it seems like things are starting to change. Like even another new dynamic for Cordell to Walker, like his old partner is now his boss, so that's gonna be fun. So while Cordell's beginning to get the lowdown on the whole case, his new partner arrives, which is the woman from last night, aka Texas Ranger Mickey Rodriguez, played by Lindsay Morgan, which I only know her because she was on The 100. She is a beautiful woman. I will say that. She was a badass actress in The 100. I enjoyed her in those 7 seasons along with the rest of the cast. Maybe one day we'll do 100 in a review. Who knows? So she's the new kid on the block. She's kind of just squaring off Walker, filling him up on what's going on with the case. And I believe... where do we go from here? I believe we get there first. Busy yet? So, instead of immediately going to take on the case, they immediately just go to have lunch at a local hot dog cart. I believe that's what they're eating. I'm not sure what the delicacies they're eating. They're not talking about the case per se. They're just talking about each other, about how Walker just came back from his underground case, which he doesn't want to talk about because privacy reasons, and he's just not ready to talk about it. And Mickey is just basically being firm with him, saying like, "Look, I just became a Texas Ranger. You are not ruining this for me since I read your file. You're kind of off the cuffs a little bit. So sorry about that. Something happened with my camera. Hopefully that's the end of the issues. Back to it. So they're talking. They're basically just farming. Like, look, let's just be cool. Let's be chill. We're partners now. Let's just not hopefully ruin each other. And that's the end of their workday. Cordell heads home to his family, who just started dinner without him. His daughter's not there, but having a brief of a family skirmish since, again, Walker being out of their lives for so long. I mean, I'm sure it's not even been that long, but it's been quite some time, because apparently his kids just transferred to a more stricter religion school that the grandparents wanted them to attend to, so they're off doing that, and, they're changing. His daughter's no longer in the same extracurriculars as she was before. So things are changing, but Liam senses the tension. He and August kind of just leave the room so they can have a moment. So those three can hash it out a little bit more. But we're safe from that because Cordell gets a call from the police station. When the station turns out his daughter's been arrested for possession of narcotics. So he has to head off there to go pick her up. Before we head down there, we head back to Mickey's place, where she's greeted by her boyfriend who just came back from a deployment. They are immediately happy to see each other, but he's only back in town for so long before he has to get sent back out again. But they seem to be very happy together. They're playing off each other, and but it doesn't quite seem like they're a couple. They kind of seem like they're just something. It's kind of weird. That's the vibe I'm kind of getting off them. They go out to have a private moment later, which I won't talk about. You know what's going on with them. Young people in love. That sort of thing. At the station, Walker is filled in by the cop of what's going on. It turns out she and her friend were at his daughter and a friend were at a party. They were caught with a drug, and they were arrested and pulled in. So Walker goes to pick up his daughter who doesn't want to leave her friend behind because her parents aren't there yet. And, Walker's like, nope, absolutely not. I don't even know this person. She's staying here. I'm taking you home. Thankfully, conveniently, the other girl's parents showed up. And the parents are immediately a little worried why a ranger is involved, but Cordell clarifies that he's just the father for his daughter, so that's the only reason why he's there. But before they're able to have a conversation further, since Walker wants to get together, like, hey, your daughter's friends with my friend. Maybe we should, become friends ourselves, But before they're able to even think about having this prospect, another officer comes in to pull the family away, which I'm obviously guessing the usual sort of suspects, but however, we'll get to that later, a little bit later on. So Walker takes his daughter home. They're about to pull up to the driveway of the family house, and it turns out that, she's not happy with her dad. He's been away so long, and already, it's expecting that he has to now. It's back to normal, but it can't be. Even Cordell is just basically honest with her, like, look, it's not like your mother is just going to come back and fix this straight. Like, we got to fix this problem ourselves. But as soon as he even mentions her mother, his wife, the daughter runs out of the car and heads back into the house, leaving Cordell kind of like defeated, since like, what's there to do? And so the next day, they're back at the station. Mickey gives Cordell this traffic cam footage, not footage, images from a footage of a vehicle that was nearby the area, which is a very smaller type used car in the area, so they deduce it back to only one place of origin, which is a local church supply store, I believe. They have crosses and everything, which is when they go in there, and Cordell just picks up a cross and just like starts talking to God and about like, oh, do you think it was the right choice for my son and daughter to be transferred to a different Catholic school? And the cross doesn't say anything. Obviously, Mickey's like, relax, dude. We're on an assignment here. They talk to the owners, and specifically the owner's sister, about like why this car was in the area, and she gives up the names of two workers who probably were in the car, and so they go in the back to go talk to them, but instead of actually having a conversation about the car itself, one of the guys makes a snide comment about the fact that Walker is the ranger but the dead wife. And what's weirdly enough, that the guy said, I guess you didn't protect her, huh? And then, obviously Cordell gets mad. Well, no, he doesn't throw the first punch. He's about to be very peaceful. The other guy attempts to swing at him, and then Cordell responds a little bit too aggressively. Mickey has to pull him away as soon as she finds out that his hand was cut and bleeding out. But instead of going to a hospital, she takes him back to his place because she doesn't want him to be on the record for having this injury while on the job, because this could hurt her chances of being to staying on as a Texas Ranger. So she just has her boyfriend stitch him up. The two have a brief minor spat about this, that she knew that he's going to be a problem. Like, Walker's going to just potentially ruin my chances of being a Texas Ranger. And Walker's just like, look, this is the way I think I like to do things. I've done this for way longer than you, which he has a point, but maybe it's time for his ways to kind of like evolve into something else. But Mickey leaves, and then Walker immediately gets a call from his daughter's school, and so he has to head back to the school. He meets up with Liam, and turns out that his daughter didn't even show up for school that day. She didn't even go to the bus, so something's clearly wrong. So they start coordinating an effort to go find her. I believe where's next? I think So Cordell goes to go meet with the mother of his daughter's friend, and she's a little hesitant at first to give any information, but then she clarifies the only reason that first of all, she doesn't know anything about her, and second of all, the reason why she was a little bit concerned about Walker being there was because apparently her and her husband are immigrants. They have applied for citizenship, but they don't have their papers yet, as well as their daughter is a legal, natural-born American citizen, but they're not. So when she broke the law last night, they were put on the record. So they're kind of on a fear that like, oh, eventually they're going to come in and deport us because of this connection. So Walker tells her, "Don't worry, I'm going to make a few calls. You'll be fine." And then I believe from there, where do we go? Did we go back to the office? Yeah, I think we go back to the office, where Cordell just basically catches up, making the situation that he's going to handle this. He's going to try and find his daughter first with the help of his family, and then she's like, and Mickey kind of gives a little bit more of her own backstory about how her and her mother weren't as on terms in terms of where she wanted to do with her life. That's kind of had them separate in life. But knowing TV shows, they'll probably cross paths at some point in the show. You assume, right? So I think by then they get a break in the case. Yeah, they get a break in the case because like there's something a little bit fishy off with this place, and they conveniently enough Walker still has the cross he was playing with, and coincidentally enough, when you put it in the water, it reveals heroin. So they're actually a distributor for drugs for the cartel. So Cordell immediately wants to go in and get the guys, get these people arrested. Mickey's like, no, you got to take care of your family first. You got to get that straightened out. And I don't know. I think there's an interstitial scene where Cordell's thinking like, you need to find where she would go, his daughter, I mean, and then he gets the connection of going to, conveniently enough, Emily and Cordell's place, their spot. The I don't know what the name is. One of my friends has one in her place of living. I forgot what it was. It was just like the white seating area that looks really fancy for pictures. That one, if you don't know what I'm talking about, like whatever. She's there. She's still kind of miffed at her dad, and they just have the conversation about how like Cordell can't be blamed for this. Like he's on the job. He has to focus on that. And he's like, it's always been about the job. Like, and mom's not around anymore. And Cordell says, I'm trying. I can't do everything. And then she brings up, yeah, but mom could. She done her job and be a mom. So what's your excuse? Which makes sense. But the conversation doesn't have a necessarily finite end. It's just like an open-ended argument to be continued later. So she gets in the car. Her and Walker are not in good terms. And then from then, we head back to the place of business. The cartel distributor, as I like to call it. And it turns out, the jig's up. But it turns out it was the woman who was actually behind this whole operation. So she's about to make an escape. Mickey goes to chase her by foot, and then she's about to get in the car to drive away. Walker actually he pushes the stacks of shelves. I'm presuming heroin on the floor to block her, and that was enough to arrest her. That was enough to get her cuffed in. Where do we go from here? I think did we? Yeah. So we had we head back to the station. The captain thanks them for their services, and now because of like what they solved and what they resolved in this case, they found an even more bigger connection into the cartel. And he already tells Walker like, you've been recommended for this assignment. Do you want to take it? And Cordell's like, yes, I'll take it. So he's ready to leave again. He just got back home, and he's off to another undercover assignment. So he tells Mickey, he's like, okay, you can hold on the fort. You proved yourself more enough this week. So, and Cordell's heading down, to his new assignment already. And then I believe we head back to the house. Wait, did we head back to that? Oh yeah, I forgot. There was another scene before. No, I think there was a scene before. Yeah, no, this comes after. So I'm still in the correct chain of orders. He goes back to the house. He sits down with his brother. He's holding this poker chip, which I forget. Yeah, I forgot we saw this poker chip earlier. I'm not sure when. I think I may have omitted this, but he sits down with his brother. He's playing with the poker chip. I always thought, I was thinking about in the scene, like, is this the Inception scene where that's his totem? Like, he's just thinking, and it's like, he's putting up some recent evidence, like, why was the poker chip found next to her body? Someone put her body in a position, like, to take the time to let her rest, like, her eyes were closed, like, so someone took the effort to do that, and then the guy, the terms that was now connected with the cartel, he said like, oh, you couldn't protect her, in no specific words. So what else is going on that Cordell doesn't know about? But his brother's like, no, you shouldn't worry about it. Your brain's all over the place, which is kind of suspicious in my opinion. Like, dude, you shouldn't say that. I mean, that's your brother's wife. Well, not dead wife, but that you should at least let him explore that option. He is a Texas Ranger after all. He has the authority to investigate it, but he doesn't follow suit on that. And yeah, so that's dropped. Cordell heads back inside. He he heads back in with his parents. His dad just immediately leaves, like doesn't even want to talk to him. He talks to his mom about where things are at, and she's just telling him like, look, that house in the town for you guys, it's not a livable place anymore. Emily's gone now. That's just not a home anymore. It's better you move up here. There's a farmhouse right in the corner of the property that you can live at, so we can all be together. Because this is a home. And Cordell just immediately does not talk back. It's like, you already got the house ready, didn't you? And he's like, I don't know about that, but it's waiting for your finishing touches. However, before they could set anything in stone, Cordell does tell her about like he's about to take a job, another assignment, undercover. But before he's able to finish that statement, his son just comes in, hugs him, and he just puts down that topic, and they just talk about the farmhouse, and he takes him outside. His son takes him out to the farmhouse to go see it. Cordell gets another vision of his wife, again, super happy, super beautiful, just looking at Cordell. Cordell just gives her a smile, while his son August kind of brings it back to reality. They head into the farmhouse, and so Cordell's obviously impressed with some of the work August has been doing around it, especially with the table. He then apologizes to him for making him grow up so fast, since his wife passed away. It's not been kind for both of them. They have been very, they have been in very different places. But then August, it kind of seemed like he wanted to cry in that moment, but he just said, can we just sleep here tonight? Like, can we just, fall asleep, you and me? It's like, yeah, sure, let's do that. So they fall asleep. Well, he falls asleep. Cordell's staying up like a normal father. Like the father just stays up longer than the son. His daughter comes in, gives them a blanket, which is also a very, low-key way to like get them to have a conversation. They talk about things, how like Cordell wants to be there. First she says like, I heard about your other assignment that you're gonna go and take it, but Cordell's like, no, I gotta be here. My family's here. I gotta be here and figure things out first. So he's not gonna leave. But then she's like, oh, you say that now, but tomorrow you're gonna wanna leave again. But it doesn't. Again, it's not your typical let's finish this argument tonight or finish it today. It's definitely like, this is something that's going to keep growing and evolving as the season progresses, which I appreciate. I'm very much of a fan. Like, let's not conclude anything in this first episode. We're keeping things open-ending and setting up stuff for hopefully for future episodes to tackle on. And that was the end of the series premiere of Walker. I don't know why I got to say it like this. Walker, Texas Ranger. But overall, I like this episode. I don't think it was the best premiere episode I've ever seen, I think, in recent memory. But I did enjoy it. I think the characters are very interesting and compelling in their own right, to allow us to be given a chance to see them and see their backstories develop and their backstories unfold, and for their hopeful future journey to develop further. Jared Padalecki does a pretty good job as Cordell Walker. My only concern was that going into this show, I was very concerned, like, because I was talking to my friend, one of my best friends. She and I, we were both big fans of Supernatural, and when we were talking about Walker, it was very much the concern of like, are we going to able to see Jared Padalecki not be Sam? Because in the past 15 years, besides a couple of cameo roles, he's only played Sam Winchester, and it gets difficult sometimes. It's like when Daniel Radcliffe, his first film after Harry Potter, like, it was so weird for me to like, there's Harry Potter, but he's not Harry Potter. In this case, it's Sam Winchester, but he's not Sam Winchester. I think Jared definitely does a great job of isolating that and forming Cordell as his own. Like, he's not your typical protagonist. Like, he has a lot of, problems in his head. He's just not in the right mental place. And that I think Jared played that very well, and I really enjoyed it. Obviously, I love Lindsay Morgan. I think she's going to make a very great back and forth with Jared this season. The rest of the cast were pretty good as well. I like them a lot. I'm very suspicious on that Liam. I'm very suspicious. I'm scared. I'm like, oh no, Please don't tell me it's a brother versus brother situation. I really hope not, but we'll see what happens. Let's see how the story unfolds. So for me, I give this episode 1 thumbs up, like 1.25 around that. It's not a bad thing. I still enjoyed it. It has a long way to go, let's say that. But the characters are there. They're putting focus on them, and I enjoy that. And I really like that. So I'll give them the benefit of the doubt there. So hopefully, as we continue on our Walker journey, they'll prove me wrong and show a great story. But we will see. So I think that's going to do it for me tonight, everyone. I'm going to sign off. So if you're unaware, this has been What's in the Tube from ActionX, reviewing every episode of Walker. If you want to know what we're doing overall and What's in the Tube besides Walker, we're doing the Rookie Season 3 episode review. So we're reviewing every episode of the Rookie Season 3 on Monday mornings after a brand new episode on Sunday nights on ABC. And also we're doing Nancy Drew Season 2 episode reviews each and every Thursday morning after a brand new episode on Wednesday nights on the CW or for free on the CW app. Also, you can see the Rookie Season 3 on Hulu the day after. So you have options here. But if you don't care about Walker, you're in luck. We're just beginning our Walker journey. We'll be back next week, next Friday morning, for the next episode of review. Because Walker will premiere every Thursday nights on the CW, and you can catch it all for free on the CW app. Oh yeah, I think it's the CW app. Yeah, I think it is. I just said it for Nancy Drew, and like I just had a brain fart. But again, this has been What's in the Tube. If you want to see more What's in the Tube, specifically our Walker episode reviews, please subscribe to ActionX on YouTube.com/ActionX. Ring the bell for notification when our next episode review is live, which is usually every Friday morning. Like, favorite, share if you want to, but it does help us out greatly. It gets us out there to new people who want to discover us and what we're talking about, that sort of thing. As well as follow us on Twitter to be up to date on any sort of updates, and follow us on Twitch because we're streaming there every Sunday before a brand new episode of The Rookie that night. So it's Sunday nights they're not my day off. I still work. Well, I still work. So it's a hobby, but again, for you Texas Rangers, not the official Texas Rangers, I can't say Rangers because they're kind of like the Power Rangers, and then if I say Texas, it's like, well, that's not really. I can't say Texans because it's not. I'm gonna say Texas Rangers. Okay, Texas Rangers. I will see you guys in a couple months, so please do not try to arrest me on that. Please don't. Sorry, please. But no, for you Texas Rangers. Hopefully this is just the beginning of our amazing journey together, and I'll see you all next week. So be safe out there. Be good to each other. Prosper, and see you next week. Peace out.